want to talk about is like how we met because it's a funny story. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about like sports, like what you did as a kid. Because I always like to see the transition of like what people did as a kid into like why they started hunting.
Oh, it's
And
you wouldn't expect it.
yeah, there's always like, oh really? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it'd be good to know. And then so people like that relation, and then we'll talk about like I got the laptop there, which I'll grab that and see like because I remember you used to apply crappy.
Oh, I still do.
Yeah. So
There's no
that,
doubt there.
and then like your hunting season stuff, some hunting stories, or if there's none, then we'll figure out why there's none. Like talk about like that, and then the future hunt, like what I expect out of you hunting this year, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, all new hunting this year in the desert.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess how it started is, do you want to tell a story? Like how?
Yeah.
I'll tell it because I was there, and then you could tell your version.
There you go.
So it was my birthday party, and I had a bunch of friends there, and we're all pretty intoxicated. This is when I used to drink, and they were like, "Let's go off roading." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." So I ended up leaving like my own party with all these people to go, like just off road. And there's like still a bunch of people at my house. Like we just left them.
Yeah.
And when we get up there, we're with like Crazy Jerry, and his battery dies on his truck. So we spent all night in the wilderness. And I don't know, like I can't remember like why we didn't call. I think everybody was just sleeping at that time. It was probably like 2 a.m. when that happened. So all night we just like hung out in the middle of the desert. And then I remember Jesse ended up calling you to come give us a jump. And like finally when you woke up, you came up there and like had a hard time finding us. We're in the middle of the desert.
Oh yeah, pin didn't work.
Oh, the pen didn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were like in the middle of the mountains. And then finally we found Ben. And then I think we just went to the bar after that or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I found you guys about 3 in the morning after driving around for at least 2 hours trying
Oh,
to
was
find
it
you.
30? I thought it was daylight.
It was cresting up.
Was it?
Yeah, by the time I actually got over to you guys. But I'm driving around the mountains, looking down up from the peaks, trying to find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were way back there.
Yeah, so that's how I met Ben. And then I think I went to like a couple little deals at your house maybe.
Yeah,
And
housewarming parties and things.
Housewarming.
Yeah.
And then we went camping in Independence.
Yep. Yep.
Is that kind of how you remember? Like that's kind of the sequence?
Yeah, it's about right. Yeah, I did a little fishing up there and hiking around.
Yeah, I remember Luke was making us mint and pine needle teas.
Absolute hippie.
Yeah, which was
Absolute
cool because I
hippie.
was like, I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know? I thought about making some. When I took my nephew to Big Bear last week, I was like gonna do some pine needle ones.
You should have. Those streams are still full of mint up there.
I mean Big Bear?
Oh, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't even see. I didn't even know there's.
it's all up there.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool. Cool experience. We ended up seeing like a bunch of deer and stuff, and then yeah, I think we kind of like didn't hang out for a while because I think you've just got with your wife at that time.
Yeah,
Like
just
that?
started the business.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
met my wife, so I was, even now, still busy.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was super busy, and then kind of I went to a couple parties at your new house.
Yep.
Yeah, pool parties,
Yep.
and then we always like kind of stayed in touch, you know. And then I think it just kind of
And then I got busy with hunting.
yeah then you kind of took hunting seriously, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so what was like the kids like? What'd you do as a kid that would like anything outdoors, or like were you like? I always ask everybody this because nobody's ever came from video games. Is that what'd you kind of do that would like push you to the outdoors? Because obviously your dad would take you camping, right?
Occasionally, yeah. Mostly dirt bikes, things like that, racing
that's right.
motorcycles, being outside with that. I couldn't play ball sports in high school because I have a heart condition,
Oh, really?
so couldn't pass
I feel
physical.
like I remember that now.
Yeah, so instead of playing football, things like that, race motocross.
Yeah.
Yep,
So that's like you would just kind of do dirt bikes the whole time, or what?
exactly.
And your dad never hunted.
No, my dad did hunt as a kid, just pheasant, things like that, but definitely didn't get me into it.
Yeah, my dad hunted when he was a kid too. Well, not when he was a kid, but like before I was born, and he was like, "Yeah, just killing animals ain't for me," kind of thing. But
Exactly.
it'd be super cool. I want my dad to go on a hunt with me, like even if we just to
Oh,
hang
it'd be
out, like, just
awesome.
hang out,
Yeah,
like even if we just do like an easy Hawaii trip or something.
yeah, just out there chasing something
Yeah,
down.
just like, hey, I'm just riding the UTV or
Hey,
something.
throw him in the duck blind.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. He doesn't even have to shoot. you know?
Exactly.
Hey, I just heard this. My buddies have been hunting ducks. This is going way off topic, but this is how it goes. They've been hunting ducks in Edwards Air Force Base.
Oh, they got a slip?
Yeah, they get like they're military, so they get like blinds
Yeah, yeah.
for the military, but they like bring people in there.
A
They
lot
invite,
of the bases do that.
yeah, they invited me, but I was like, oh,
I know how much you like chasing ducks.
yeah. My one duck story, I was like, I missed a couple ducks. I was like, yeah, that's good. And I paid like $300, and I was like,
Oh, it's a rich man's game, duck hunting the reserves.
is it?
Oh, it's
Why
expensive.
just the
Just all the tags, all the nonsense you have to get.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go one day. Like it'd be cool to just hang out, but
You know, I was chasing them like I was mad at them for a couple of years there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you did dirt bikes, and then like what else did you do? Anything else or like outdoor
No.
sport? Just kind of dirt bikes.
Yeah, I raced dirt bikes, got competitive with that, raced BMX for a bit, and then after that, competed snowboarding.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I always find that transition to be very similar. That like people that go into hunting are like outdoors, 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 and then hunting.
Yeah, definitely.
But how old are you right now?
30.
30, and you got into hunting what 2 years ago?
2 years.
Well, because I remember you used to always hit me up like you would like hit me up like after I post like in like a successful hunt, and you'd be like, dude, I want to hunt, and I was like, well, get your freaking hunting license.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just like never. There were like 3 years of that. I feel like that you'd always hit me up like, I want to hunt.
Probably about 3 years. Yeah, it's something I wanted to do. A bunch of my buddies did it, and I just couldn't find the time with starting a new business.
Yeah, but now you kind of have time to do it, or
Yeah, making time.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah,
You can't go scout until next month.
yeah.
Which I
All
guess
my
is-
weekends are full.
I guess it's like only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. So you started hunting what 2 years ago?
2 to 3 years
Like
ago.
seriously, like
Yeah,
'cause
probably
I
2
think
years
like the
ago.
first year you went like once. Is that
Yeah.
right?
The problem we had is the forest shut down right when our season started.
Oh, because they were having all those fire closures.
Exactly. Yep. So
Yeah.
had plans of hunting, they fell right on their face right before the trip.
And did you get your? Well, that wasn't a draw, so you want to get your points back.
No,
kinda had
it
to
was.
eat it.
I just grabbed an over-the-counter A tag.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the premium hunts you were able to get your points back.
Listen, I didn't even know there was a draw system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So hunting. So might as well start off with that. I remember you, like, let's talk about the application and like the mistakes you made, because so what we're trying to do here, like in this pod, is like I'm a veteran hunter, he's new, so it's gonna kind of be like that dynamic where we kind of talk about stuff like that, how it is getting in, and then I know more about the application process, right?
Absolutely.
So do you remember how you like applied your first time?
Honestly, I just clicked things.
You just like were pushing whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Like no research or
So
anything?
this is the first year I've actually put in for the draw.
And then I think you
Before
called me.
that, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Oh,
that,
you
it was
never
all
put-
over the
You never
counter.
put in for a draw.
No, first time.
Oh, so you just like bought a deer tag?
Just bought it over the counter.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I always thought you like applied for something.
No, never.
So you drew our zone with no points?
It was no points.
Oh, dang.
Yep.
So the reason that happened was, I've been telling people, is you kind of started during COVID, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, there's been a 30% drop off on hunters since COVID. So everybody got into it.
Yeah.
And my theory is they thought it was too fucking hard.
Oh, I could guarantee that.
And now they're like, yeah, we're gonna just go play ping pong or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
you know. So I feel so it's 30% less. So that's why you probably drew it. I'm definitely waiting to see the statistics of the draw results from this year
Yeah, I'm curious.
to see. But yeah. So I'm gonna grab my laptop real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
I pulled up all the stats. That's staying in there.
Yeah, I can't say I blame people for dropping out. I mean, it's a hard game.
It's a lot of work.
But I have a problem with obsession, and once I get going at something, I can't stop till I'm good at it.
I was interviewing. We're doing a podcast with my buddy Jeff.
Yeah.
He doesn't hunt, and he's like, I don't even want to. He's like, I'm addicted. I'll probably start doing it.
Oh yeah,
Too much.
It's unbelievable.
And he's like, I'm not good with money, so I'll just buy everything. All right. So what'd you? I remember you called me for the application stuff this year, I believe, right? Or we
yeah.
texted or something.
Yeah.
What'd you apply for?
As far as zones,
Yeah, like I'll blur out the ones, but like, what'd you apply for?
first, 14, second, and then third, I think I did D8.
So what'd you like start off with? Because didn't we change that?
I started off with
Like,
X
what was your-
units.
Yeah, what was your like intention to apply if you never talked to me?
Probably X9A.
Yeah, so everybody wants to apply for X9A.
Yeah, I do a lot of hiking up there, so definitely know where the deer are.
It's definitely a good zone, but here's the stats for that, right? So if you can, What choice would you have applied for?
Oh, first choice.
Yeah. Would you ever apply for a second choice?
I would. Not really.
No, you can't.
It wouldn't
'cause
be worth it.
It'll never. It's a 0% chance.
Yeah.
So what happens with X9A, right? They give out 269 tags, and 26 of them go random. Guess how many people apply for that zone?
Got to be thousands.
4,337.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah. So technically, if you don't have any points, right, you're on the random side, which is 26 tags out of 4,337.
Yeah.
So to draw that is,
You're playing the lottery.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you draw that tag, you definitely play the lottery.
Absolutely.
So let me do these different. I'm gonna do a different one to show you what that zone's like. We're just gonna touch base on this just to show people
Yeah, sounds good.
they need to learn the regs. So yeah, so X9A. I just did the stats on this actually. Oh, X9A is 8 points to draw it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
That's
so
not too bad.
No, it's not bad, but you have to have 8 points to draw it by the time you get to 8 points.
Yeah.
So you didn't get a point this year, but so the time you get to 8 points, if you wanted to build points,
Yeah.
it would probably be at 10 or 11. So it's going to keep going up, you know.
Yeah,
just
it's going
'cause-
to start creeping up more
Yeah.
and more.
So then another problem people have is you said D14, that's just our local zone.
Yeah.
People always apply for that first choice, which it's a premium, so it takes your point.
Yeah, yeah.
So
and
I
it's not
don't-
like it's a really productive unit.
No, it's awful odds.
Yeah.
There's stats I have pulled up here that a guy used 21 points for D14 last year.
I mean, he must have either seen the biggest buck of his life. Or that
There's
was
no
the
way.
last day
There's
of his
no
hunt.
there's no genetics here for that.
No, absolutely not.
You know what he could have drew with 21 points?
Anything he wants.
Probably G3, which is a late season migration rut hunt almost. So he could have hunted that with 21.
Insane.
I want to know if this guy killed anything. Like I want to know if he spent 21 points to shoot one of these little forkies.
I mean, you can only hope not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's crazy. But D14, I tell everybody, I'm like, don't apply first choice. Apply for a premium because there's always a chance. And then if you don't, you get the point. And then do D14 second, which is it's like decent odds.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
The good thing about D14 though is it's pretty woodsy, and that's more of where I'm getting more comfortable hunting.
Dude, it would suck.
That's the only thing I know how to find deer in.
Nah, I'll teach you some desert hunting this year.
Gonna learn something.
Yeah, the woods are tough.
They are tough.
The bad thing about D14 is there's too many tags and there's no antler restriction. Like California doesn't do that. I would say there's got to be a change. I would keep the tags the same, but put a 3-point or better restriction on it.
Yeah,
So
let
that-
them get a little bigger.
So that the forkies don't get killed, you know.
Yeah.
They're still gonna get some that get killed, but yeah, that's kind of just a breakdown on kind of what you were doing. But luckily you drew your first choice. So what would have happened is if you didn't draw a good tag, your premium tag, you would have drew D14 probably on second choice. I'm still trying to pull that freaking. Kind of lost here in these files. Oh, D14. That's hunting, harvest. I'm kind of lost here. Oh, D14 right here.
Trying to find success rates.
Yeah. So they give 3,000 tags in D14,
Okay.
which is like a 14.2% success rate too. So they harvested 426 bucks. So it's not bad, but 426 out of the zone we're hunting this year is like 9%.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty low success rates.
Yeah, it used
Yeah.
to be what would it have been? It would have been like 20%. A couple years ago it was 20%, but just the drought and stuff kind of broke it off, you know. But yeah, so technically you just have to pay attention to these regulations and how you apply, because a lot of people apply for Arizona too, and they like apply for stuff that non-residents will never get. So,
Yeah, which makes sense.
So
They're-
a guy could be applying for a sheep tag
Yeah.
that only has one sheep tag, right? But they're only going to go non-resident if there's 2 sheep tags. So a guy could apply for 21 years.
Yeah, And never draw.
and never draw because it's impossible to draw.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just got to like study the regs and stuff. Like it's kind of what I tell people when they first start is like, oh, this stuff's all public information I have here,
Oh, yeah, it's all
just
read
about
on.
that
You just got to
time.
find it.
which you're finally doing that.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
research.
Yeah, that's why I like Idaho. It just makes their draw system makes so much more sense.
Yeah, but they don't have points.
Exactly
That's
why I
what I
like it.
kinda-
Everyone's got the same advantage.
I kind of hate it for that
No, I like it.
because it's hard, right? So I was gonna apply this year for the controlled hunts, but I was like, you know, it's a lot of money. Not a lot, but it's money, and there's no like point system. So I could have just applied and been like, I'll apply so I could hunt it next year. But I was like, forget it, I'm not applying because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no points. So I was
Exactly.
like, I'll just be lucky next year.
Yeah.
You know. Plus, I have 3 deer tags and 3 bears. I want to.
Yeah,
this
I was
year,
going to
so-
go for a controlled hunt up there too, but my hunting season is already so packed. I
Yeah.
said, no, screw it. Because
Yeah.
I'll be up there, for the whitetail hunt.
So it's dumb for Idaho because I would have applied if I could have got points, but I decided not to put my money in because I don't get points.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? So I
Yeah.
was kind of like, forget it.
but their
so-
over-the-counter draw stuff, I mean, you can get some good units first come, first serve.
Yeah, I was looking at those, but they have a lot. You have to know a lot of information about Idaho too. Is like they have like 2-point tags, which got to be like a forky.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. But my buddy wanted me to go hunt with them in Utah. I gotta tell him no because I just found out if I buy the over-the-counter tag, they take my points.
Oh, well, they take all the points you built
Yeah,
up.
so
Yeah, that's
I'm
silly.
just like I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, not going
'Cause
to
it's
waste the
not-
points you put in for.
I have no research on the zone, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of the stats. And then I was telling my buddy yesterday is like if you're a new hunter, you wanna go with somebody. Like you want to find like a mentor,
Absolutely.
I mean, you kind of had one the last couple of years. Like you had me through Taxby, you kind of went with Gilbert.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't even know, does he? It's tough to learn in a zone where you're not finding deer.
That is a very tough unit.
So
Very
I
tough
was
unit.
explaining this to Jeff. So he like goes bowling a lot, right? So
Yeah.
if I wanted to critique you bowling, like I could see you repetitively bowl and change it.
Yeah.
But like I could tell you everything, and then that one opportunity you get on a buck, if you blow it, that's when I could criticize what you did wrong.
Yeah,
So
but when
that
you're not
one
finding
chance,
bucks.
and then you got to go back next year and
Yeah.
try to put that to. So it's very difficult. So I always tell people like find a mentor and try to go with somebody.
Yeah,
It's like a
once
first one.
once we get into the bucks, I should be able to learn a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but where you're hunting, you're not getting into them.
Yeah, there's
So like technically, the last 2 years, like you didn't learn anything.
just hiked a lot.
Yeah.
Just did a lot of walking.
You learned how to hike, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think Idaho really helped me out because
Yeah.
there was actually deer around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah.
Got your hands a little bloody too,
Yeah, pulled it off. No monsters, but got my first deer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, everybody should shoot anything the first year.
Absolutely.
I always tell people like, if it was like a giant forked horn, like I might, because like some deer will never be bigger than a forked horn.
Yeah, and they get massive. I mean,
Yeah,
they
they'll
get
just be a
wide.
giant 2x2. But
Yeah,
if I see like a giant one, like I need one.
absolutely.
I always like think about putting a basketball between their antlers. If
There
he's
you go.
that big, like
Yeah. Yeah, just let them hang out there.
yeah, I'll probably shoot it with my bow. The biggest deer I've ever seen in my life was a forky,
Was it really?
but it was like a 27 point. He had like 15 spikes coming off of his.
Oh,
He was only a
interesting.
fork,
Yeah.
so that was his main, and then he just started growing stuff off his forks. Like he was just like 27 scoreable points,
That's nutty.
and I stalked him 3 times. He just
Never pulled it off.
I never seen him again, and I just kind of found him on accident. But
You got to go find those sheds.
yeah, I gotta go check that area out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Probably getting
Snuck
bigger
him.
now.
Yeah, I stalked him 3 times. Like I couldn't get within 90, and that was before I was like shooting long range.
Is that the California unit?
Yeah, and I've got a couple bucks in that area, but I never seen one that big.
Yeah.
Like he just came from somewhere. So what else? What's your so what have you learned hunting so far?
I think when I first started out, I was moving too fast, too quick. Just blistering through the mountains, not glassing enough.
Just kind of pushing. Did you notice yourself like jumping deer? Like deer would just be running before you seen them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you feel like what have you fixed from that?
I've learned to glass canyons a little better before I'd blast through them. But
Try to pick stuff up bedded and so.
yeah, in the unit I was hunting, I figured the only chance I have of finding a buck is to get way further out than everyone else would go.
Yeah.
So that was the goal, is just to get past everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely my tactic. Like I hike in before dark a couple miles.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
when sun comes up, I'm kind of like where I think they should be, you know?
Yeah.
Some people get successful being right by the road, but one, the deer's not going to be big. And two, like that's got to be really lucky.
Yeah, and I hunt for the adventure, you know. I want to get out there and have the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, we were taking off from the truck around 3 in the morning, and we'd put 7-8 miles in before the sun came up.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what you have to do.
And you've seen the unit I was hunting. It's steep.
Yeah.
That's some rough terrain.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And it's tough. There's just like tough genetics there.
Yeah.
So you've never seen a buck? Have you ever seen a buck in
Not
California?
in California.
Like not even
Well, hiking around, yeah, but not with a rifle in my hand.
just ran. Oh, like when you were hiking up like in the Sierras?
Yeah, we'll see them up there.
Yeah, there's
all over the place.
it's the biggest herds of deer I've ever seen up there.
Exactly.
50, 60 deer.
Yeah.
But you'll never be able to hunt it.
Yeah, we've seen all the elk up in Idaho. You know, found them in the wallows, things like that. So just rough in California. At least that unit.
zone is.
Yeah.
They give too many tags.
It's outrageous.
just
It's
a
like
mo- it's just a
11,000 tags or
money-driven.
something.
It's a money-driven zone,
Yeah.
and there's just people don't care. They just do whatever. It's just
Yeah, I mean, sun comes up. If you're not 5 miles back or more, there's 30 orange vests all over the mountainsides.
I mean, good for them to be out there, but also it's like, dude, like I don't even want to hunt there. It's
No, it just drives you nuts.
Yeah, and there's just no deer. Like there's not gonna be any big deer
No.
because
Yeah.
most of the people that hunt there are just shooting any buck.
Any buck they can.
And then if you're hunting there, you have to too,
Oh, well,
because like what you're gonna see one buck and be like, I'm gonna hold out for a bigger one and never see one again for the next 3
Exactly,
years. So
yeah.
like it's kind of like that's what the zone's made to be, is like there's a legal buck, shoot it.
yeah, that's your only option.
Otherwise, like what are you doing out there?
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of like forced to do that. I know there's like some big bucks there, but
I've seen some big tracks, things like that, some big sheds, but I know they're there. But as soon as hunting season starts, they hear the pressure, they're gone.
where do you think they go?
I know they're not going high because I went to every high peak there is.
Yeah, I don't think them deer. I think they push in that thick country.
Yeah.
Once you get down in the thick stuff, you start seeing all the sign. Like
Exactly.
where they're just, and those deer will just bed all day.
Yeah, they're coming out at night feeding.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're doing their thing. They
So
know what they're doing.
So, but that's tough because sometimes you have to drop in those canyons and push them to be able to get like a shot kind of thing, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's tough. I mean, I don't know what to say. I still don't know what to say about that zone.
I don't know. I hope I don't have to hunt it again.
Yeah, I don't hunt there. You're lucky going up like north a little bit, you know?
Exactly.
It's better to drive far and hike less.
I don't know. I like hiking. You
Yeah.
know me. I like to get way out there.
But you could drive up like north to where like there's better zones and get into more bucks like quicker, you know?
Yeah.
Instead of this one, you're just killing yourself kind of thing. And
Exactly.
you're not learning anything.
No.
That's a tough
I'm
problem.
learning how to hike.
Yeah, I mean, that's just walking.
Exactly.
Yeah, with a heavy
Yeah.
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got any cool hunting stories? Like anything cool? I mean, obviously you haven't shot anything in California yet. Oh, tell us about your
Yeah.
Idaho hunt.
Yeah. We can start there. Start with the duck hunts, whatever you want.
Oh yeah, tell us about some duck hunting. Like I've only done it once, so talk about duck
Yeah.
hunting and kind of talk to them how like they should, like as if they never done it before.
Yeah. So my buddy got me into duck hunting. He took me out for the first time, and it was a hell of an experience for first time ever hunting. You know, you walk into the blind, everything. It's like 3 in the morning. You get your check in, and first light comes. Everyone's getting all prepped and ready. They're like, "Hey, load your gun up, like it's time. We got 2 minutes till it's legal shooting light." And we have just flocks of ducks flying everywhere over our head.
Oh really?
So, you know, can't shoot yet. There's ducks landing in the decoys. It's just absolute chaos. First light comes, we just start blasting, and it is the best time I've ever had in my life.
Just because it was action packed.
Oh, just
Yeah.
completely action-packed, yeah. So, did duck hunting for 3 years now. It's a lot of work. You got to put your time in, you know. But it's definitely not like deer hunting, where you have to actually push yourself physically.
Yeah.
It's more mentally, because you're awake for so many hours.
Yeah, you like were telling us you were like leaving here at like 1.
Yeah, for the one unit we were hunting down south, check-ins at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning. So you work all day Friday, You get your gear prepped. You leave the house at midnight, 3-hour drive. Hunt all morning. Head back around 2 p.m.
No way.
Oh, dude, it's rough. It's
I'm staying down there.
Yeah, no, it's a rough trip, but it's a good time.
Well, that's cool. So you duck hunted for like quite a bit, you know?
Yeah,
That before you deer hunted though, right?
yeah,
So that was like your introductory, like,
exactly.
which is most people like upland game, waterfowl is usually like, oh, let me make sure I could kill something, you know?
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
make
for sure.
See what it was like, you know?
Yeah, it was nice getting into it, meeting all the people. I mean, being in an upland, you meet a lot of really good dudes.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, because you're sharing a blind with them, or just like,
Yeah, well, you bring buddies along, and different guys in the group bring new people.
yeah, you never invited me, dude.
Yeah, I did. You said hell no.
Yeah, I don't know about leaving at midnight. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. No, it was cool though. I got. I'm not gonna say I'm a good duck hunter, but I got fairly good at it, and I was able to take 4 new people out last year, first time hunters,
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
I was able to get everyone at least 1 duck.
Do they seem to want to pursue it now?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
Everyone but 1 person, but
Do I know who that person is?
yeah. Yeah.
Wimp.
No, duck hunting's a good time though. And then Idaho was kind of the same deal. I don't know what it is. When I hunt, I just don't sleep.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, Idaho, we left after work. Well, we worked Friday, got home, slept for like 2 hours, left at 3 in the morning, drove straight 16 hours up to Idaho.
It's like up the top of Idaho.
Yeah,
too.
it's like way up. Yeah. So we got there. The next day was opening day.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're prepped and ready and getting things going, and up at
So
2
you
in
did
the
like
morning.
a whole full day of driving.
Yeah, 16 hours.
I've done it from
Yeah.
Montana. I was like 18. But yeah, it's far.
Yeah, it's far.
So yeah, you just start hunting the next day.
Start hunting the
So
next
what
day.
time did you get there? If you left at 3,
We got there at like 6 p.m.
oh dang,
Had some dinner, and didn't have time to scout or anything. We just hit the woods in the morning.
yeah.
Yep.
Well then what happened?
First morning we got out there, we sat. We had. I'm hunting along a fence line, right?
Did you have like anybody? Have you ever been to this property before?
Never.
So did you have anybody there that kind of knew, or you just kind of like oh let's
Just
go?
hit it and just e-scouting.
And then what'd you use, like Onyx, to kind of know where you were, or was it fenced?
It was fenced,
Not
but
high fenced, obviously, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's a cattle
there's barbed wire. Yeah.
cattle fence. Yeah.
So we hike out, no idea where we're going. We think we see a bear. Turns out it wasn't a bear. It's a big ass cow charging us. So we're running from the cow 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, trying to get to our spot.
To see the eyeballs.
Oh no, who's coming at us?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. You thought we were a mountain lion or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was mad. So we end up getting to the top of this hill and setting up. I got my partner on one side. I'm on the other side of the
How'd
mountain.
you know how to get to the top of the hill?
Just flashlights.
Just walking, or
Just
like,
walking, yeah.
Did you like
I've never seen the property
did
before.
at Onyx? Did you study any of the property like Onyx or?
Yeah, I looked for creeks and made sure I was on the right side of the property, things
yeah.
like that. Yeah. But as far as feed, things like that, it's so wooded you can't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get a 80-yard shot on this piece of property, you're really pushing it.
And then when we were hiking in, were you like worried about the wind, or you're just like just going?
No, I checked the wind. Everything on there was good. Obviously, it switched, it swirled. I mean, the wind was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we get to the top. We're hanging out, waiting around for the sun to come up. Soon as it's legal shooting light, I pop up. The grass is like 3.5 foot tall that we're in.
Jeez.
So I pop up just to be able to look around a little
But you're
bit.
on the mountain at this time, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I got 4 bucks that jumped the fence right behind me.
Oh, dang.
I mean, these things are bruisers. And I pop up, try to get a shot, but it's still pretty low light. It was cloudy and raining. So I didn't take the shot. I didn't want to take a bad shot, you know, so let them pass.
Oh, dang. I don't know if I heard that.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it sucks.
It was a bummer. It was a bummer.
Why do you think they jumped the fence? Like, judging by their activity, you think they were pushed that way?
So it's ag land kind of where we're at. The property we're hunting is very dense forest, real green. So I think they're bedding on the property,
Oh, like
and they're
just in
coming
the
from
bedding area.
feed. Yeah. So after this happened, you know, we're kind of walking around checking things out. You can see where they're coming in on the property, and they're kind of funneling in and going under this one section of the fence.
Because they have like trails
Oh, it's
through that tall grass.
exactly. So I set up on that spot the next day. Nothing comes over in the morning, just completely dead. So I start still hunting, like just inching, just unbelievably slow through
It
the
works.
property.
I've done it
Yeah,
with a bow too.
I was rifle hunting.
Yeah, no, it works.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just cruising around. It's probably noon. I've put in a few miles, you know, getting around the mountains and whatnot. And I found this rocky flat plateau, and I set up right there just to have like lunch and whatnot, and get my rifle set up just in case something comes over. And bam, little tiny Forky comes over the mountain, maybe 30 yards.
Oh, dang.
Stares at me. I stare at it. I got time to load my gun, get everything going, and shot it. You know, just a frontal right through the sternum,
Yeah.
and it runs off. 308 shot. You know, I was like, he's just gonna drop.
Yeah.
Not a speck of blood anywhere.
Oh, dang.
I was very convinced that I missed.
Yeah, a lot of times when you shoot them in like the shoulder, chest plate type thing, they don't bleed.
Yeah,
So it's like tough. Like I've shot a lot of deer like that, and I just had to grid looking for them, and then finally find them. It's tough.
yeah. I mean, first deer, I was just like, I whiffed it. You know, I can't
Yeah.
find it anywhere. I searched for probably 30 minutes looking all around the mountain. And I was like, getting ready to call it, threw my backpack back on, was going to hike kind of towards where he ran off to. And there he was laid under a tree.
Yep. Just,
Yep.
just no blood, huh? There was probably a little bit where he was
There was
lying.
nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It went in and turned it into gelatin and just plugged the hole.
Yeah, a lot of times like them like shoulders and bones just don't let them bleed.
Yeah.
Like remember that buck I shot with my bow? Shot him
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
shoulder. There's
Yeah.
just no blood.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, I mean he ended up living, but
Yeah.
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it traveled a lot further than I thought. I mean, once I found it, it was probably 50, 60 yards from where I shot it.
That's about average.
Is it?
Yeah, when it goes a couple hundred, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I was like 30 yards shot. I was like, this thing should just fall over.
yeah, it's tough. Like, what kind of bullet were you shooting? Like,
it's
was it
the
just
Hornady something.
with the polymer tip?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely should have.
it definitely should have. Yeah,
I almost blew a coyote in half with that bullet.
I believe it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I've never really had a deer run from those.
I didn't think it would, but
Yeah.
there it was.
Tough deer, you know. All right,
Yeah.
so what happened after that? So you found him.
Yeah, I finally found him. Obviously gutted it, and
What do you think about that adrenaline? The adrenaline dump?
surprisingly, I was able to like kind of keep it cool, you know, because I didn't find it yet. I found it, got stoked, took a bunch of pictures, you know, sent
Yeah.
it to the wife, the kids.
You didn't have any adrenaline, like buck fever, when you were shooting it? Like, cause
You know-
a buck's in there 30 yards. Like,
Yeah.
you're not shaking at all.
I almost passed on it, just
Oh, really?
because it was so small and
Yeah.
I'd seen the bigger bucks before, and I told myself, you know what, like as I have the scope on this deer, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna hold out for a bigger buck. I said, screw it. First deer, I'm
Yeah.
stoked. I made this drive. What if it doesn't happen later?
Yeah, that's a good
So-
point. I mean,
Yeah,
they always say shoot the buck on the first day that you would shoot on the last day.
exactly.
So,
So I pulled the trigger, made it happen.
well, definitely you needed to get that experience, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
The
so
learning experience came after that.
the hard part.
The hard part
Yeah,
came out.
so not to be too graphic, but did you do like the gutless method, or did you gut it and like take
No.
it back to the camp?
So I gutted it. We're probably
That's a tough one. Did you have to like look at YouTube and stuff? Like,
no. I researched it before I went out.
Studied
yeah.
the videos, yeah.
That part was easy, you know. What was hard is I've never drug a deer out before. I've never quartered a deer, nothing like that. So I figured I'll just gut it and I'll drag it back. It's mostly downhill. It's probably a mile and a half from the truck.
impossible.
Dude, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I shoved a stick through the back legs, you know, and just tried to drag it.
Yeah.
It probably took me 3 hours to get that deer back.
Yeah, too. We've tried to carry them like I'd rather throw it over my shoulder. Just
Yeah.
grab them by the legs, throw it over the shoulder, and go.
Yeah.
Dragging is tough.
That was the learning experience because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know?
When I got that deer in Arizona, there was a road, ended up being a road like 100 yards away.
Yeah.
So I drove around. I was like, oh, I'm going to go get my truck. I'm going to park right next to him, you know? So I ended up driving all the way up this road, parked there. I'm like, he's only 100 yards. I'm going to drag him out.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, this shit was still tough. Like 100 yards. I'm like,
Oh, my
dude,
legs
it's-
were on fire.
I pinned it on Onyx. I was like, what's the line distance? I'm like, oh, 100 yards? Easy.
Yeah.
Bro, it was still not easy. Like,
No,
I had to go,
definitely not.
like across a ravine, take 3 breaks. Like
Yeah.
I'm huffing and puffing. It's tough.
No,
a
it
mile and a
was-
half is like,
It was thick forest. I mean, I'm dragging this thing up and over fallen trees. You know, it was an experience.
yeah, we ain't dragging no deer this year.
Hey, I had to learn, right?
We're just you got to learn what not to do. That's
Exactly.
It's so tough. You ever seen where the guys put the stick between the legs and carry it like on their shoulder?
No.
So they'll tie their legs together and run a stick between their legs. And
Okay.
like, hang in there like a rotisserie pig.
Oh, between two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, we even tried that one time, and like
Didn't
it starts
happen, huh?
swinging. So the momentum Like you're like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not like they're light. You know, it's a
Yeah.
good amount of meat.
well,
Yeah, dead
and
weight.
yours was lighter than what we're gonna find. Like
Yeah, it was not a big buck.
a mule deer is
Yeah, exactly.
double the size.
Yeah.
So like, I'll drag it to the shade.
Yeah,
That's as
just to
far
get
as
out
I'm
of the
dragging
sun.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about that there because it was, I mean, probably 40 degrees and raining nonstop. So it's
Yeah.
not like it was going to get hot.
Yeah. I just like to butcher them in the shade, you know,
Oh, absolutely.
and then set the meat out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you ended up butchering. Did you process all the meat or took it to like a butcher?
No, we processed everything. It was at
So
our.
much work, huh?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
No, you'll
So
stop
we
enjoying it.
we're at our in-laws' house and they process cows.
Oh, so you got all the good tools.
We had the hangers, we had everything to wrap it. I mean, we had an assembly line. We
How
knocked
long-
those deer out in no time.
How long did it take?
For both deer, completely everything's measured out, 2-pound increments, steaks laid out, probably 2.5 hours
Oh,
for
it's
2
pretty
deer.
quick. It's pretty quick.
Yeah,
I've done like a whole deer by myself. It's like 8 hours.
I believe it. Yeah.
Absolutely brutal.
But we quartered them and hung them in a walk-in fridge, so they firmed up. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah, I wanna get a fridge built. Take all the shelves out to put the meat in there for a couple days.
Yeah,
Because a lot of times I'm shooting them on Friday, Saturday, right?
yeah, yeah.
And then
you got to go back.
I
to
just
work.
take it to the butcher because it's $125.
Yeah,
Like, you do it. And then, but usually a couple days you have to.
you got to let it
on.
hang.
Yeah, and you don't want to have an ice chest because that moisture on there.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to, you have it. So a refrigerator works. It pulls the moisture out.
Yeah, it'll let some crust
I
up
wanna,
a little bit.
I want to put like a post across the fridge, and then like hang them on that in a fridge.
Yeah,
One day, probably this year when I shoot 6 animals.
is that the
Hopefully.
goal?
That's the goal, dude.
My goal's 4. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Idaho and then California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
so,
bears.
yeah.
Talk about bears a little bit.
Yeah. Do you? You don't really know anything about bears, huh?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them out hiking around, but
Yeah.
never tried to go after one.
What's your plans for bears? Just kind of
Find
learning.
feed.
Yeah, learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go today because I kind of forgot about the podcast.
Yeah.
Forgot about it. I was thinking about it down when I took my dad skydiving, indoor skydiving today,
Oh, that's awesome.
and I was like, oh, I'll go put some cameras out. So what I'm gonna do with bears, I'm gonna put a bunch of cameras out, and then whichever one has the most bears, I'm gonna find a spot next to that and put a tree stand.
Nice.
Because I want to hunt it in August when it opens, August 17th.
Yep.
Bear opens for all of California, and I just want to go sit there all day in August.
Just,
just gonna-
sit in a tree in the 100-degree weather and just
gonna
love
read
it.
a book.
There you go.
Because I don't want to hunt hiking 10 miles a day in August.
I don't
I
blame you.
will,
Yeah.
but where I'm gonna go for bears, I don't feel like I'd find them.
I don't. Yeah. It's going to be steep out there.
Yeah, I feel like if I
Yeah.
do find them, it's gonna be half mile away
Yeah.
and at the bottom of a mountain,
And at 4 different canyons
Yeah.
over. And yeah.
and it's very thick in the canyon that they're probably gonna be in.
Almost impossible to hike through.
But you sent me that bear today, which was in town.
Yeah.
So I
yeah.
feel like where I'm gonna go, they're gonna be kind of anywhere.
Yeah, they're getting pushed around right now because of the fires.
The fires, and I think that the stats on bears is you're allowed to shoot 1,700 of them in California, which is like the best management plan I think out of anybody after
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
studying.
Because once it hits the limit,
Yeah.
they shut the season down. Yeah.
So you can hunt that 1,700 all the way through California.
Yeah.
Kind of based on the rifle deer season and stuff.
Yep.
But this year they only did 1,100.
Oh, they did.
Well, last year.
Okay.
Last year was 1,100.
Yeah.
The year before that was 1,400. When they
So they're managing it properly.
No, not even close. Because when they used to run dogs,
Yeah.
they would hit their limit every year, 1,700. So they stopped allowing dogs to run.
Yeah.
So then that 1,700 quota that they would always fill dropped to like 14. Well, now with the hunters dropping off this year, it dropped to 1,100.
Yeah.
So that's 600 more a year for the last 8 years,
That's why we're seeing so many
Plus-
bears around here.
plus whatever naturally. So,
Yeah.
those 600, say half of them are females. So every year for the last 8, they're having 1 or 2 cubs, and then those ones are living. So it's just the population's so high. So
Yeah.
what happens with bears is they're getting the territory, so they're getting pushed out of the area. That one I seen in town wasn't a very big bear,
No, it was a
so I
small
think
bear.
he got pushed out.
Yeah,
Like they're like, you need to get out of here,
probably. That's why he was out going through trash cans.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
look up the stats on how many like bears they think are around here if they ever do a survey. because I've been
Yeah.
studying.
It'd be nice to know like the local mounds where they're at.
Yeah, because their stats like the top two bear places are like up in Shasta by the reservation, and then Lake Tahoe Basin. So their stats say there's Lake Tahoe Basin is 85 bears per 36 square miles. So
Yeah,
6
that's
miles
nutty.
that way, 6 miles that way, 6 miles this way in a square.
Yeah.
There's 85 bears.
It's nutty.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I want to know what it is here, but I think there's a lot this year.
There is a lot this year, but
'Cause
there's a
two-
lot of food up there for
Two
'em.
just got hit on the freeway.
Yeah.
A lot of water this year too.
Yeah, yeah.
So the thing with the water and like the drought is people are always like, oh, that's why. What am I trying to say here? So people always say like, coyotes. No, the deer die because there's no water, right?
Yeah.
But I don't believe that because I'm like, where's all these dead deer? I'm not seeing dead deer when I'm out hiking.
Not finding a
it's
bunch
like,
of deadheads.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, they died.
Yeah.
My theory and like some studies I found is like, what happens is when we got a lot of moisture, right? So a lot of moisture means there's like a lot more snakes, a lot more rats,
Yeah.
a lot more rodents. So the coyote's gonna eat those first. So when they're
Yeah.
having the easy meals, they ain't gonna spend all that energy to take down a deer
Yeah, yeah.
because they're eating all these little rodents. Like, look at all the foxes people are posting this year.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Foxes, snakes, rats, badgers, all that stuff. Coyotes are gonna eat that first.
Yeah.
Mountain lions are gonna take down coyotes.
It's going to
first.
give the deer a little break.
Yeah, so it gives the deer a
Yeah.
break. So it's kind of the same with bears. Is bears are thriving this year because the rain, but in a different sense where there's a lot more vegetation. So
Yeah, exactly.
because all the look at all the hills are all green for once.
Yeah, a lot more berries, a lot more to eat.
Yeah, so I think they're just thriving this year. So I think we could be pretty successful. And then what's good about it is there's always that late rifle season. The
That's
tough
what I'm
thing
hoping to
about
hit.
that though is like it's always a struggle because those bears don't move. They don't hibernate. The snow don't come till February.
Yeah,
So like, you can't get them to push somewhere. They're still gonna be where they're gonna be.
they're going to be wherever the food is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that shoot I was telling you about in August in Big
Uh-huh.
Bear.
Yeah,
There's a bear that comes into that camp every year
there you go.
and destroys the trash. But we'll get on some bears this year. I kind of want to shoot one with my bow.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
so
hoping for a bow bear.
I've been trying to research finding some tree stands and stuff, but I mean I want to buy a used one because if it gets stolen, I won't be that sad about it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to carry a big chain out
But
there.
yeah, I'm gonna go drop some cameras. Maybe tomorrow.
There you go.
But
Go start hiking around.
yeah, so I need to borrow some of your cameras.
I got one.
You need to get more, dude.
I
They
tried.
didn't have the Trail Cam Tuesday this week. I checked.
I checked too. Yeah,
But you see that site? It's pretty cool.
that site is awesome.
Yeah.
I can't
We're
believe how
talking
much
about
gear they
Camofire.
got. Yeah,
Camofire, yeah.
Camo Fire is worth the look at.
Dude, this one time, they posted these like $200 sites on there for $20.
No way.
So I bought 10 of them
Yeah,
and sold them for like 100.
there you go.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
made
easy money.
I just put them on eBay and was just making $100 a week.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they sell shit so cheap
That's
on there.
so funny.
It
Yeah,
hasn't
I was
been a
looking
good
out
deal.
the Sitka gear and everything. I mean, they have killer deals.
You cannot buy Sitka, dude.
Come on, man.
No.
I just want to look cool.
No, you will not. You'll be kicked out of camp.
I've been rocking First Light lately.
First Light's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to Performance Archery, and
Uh-huh.
they're taking all the Sitka out.
Is it garbage or what?
I think like the demise. Well, he was telling me something. His opinion.
I know
they
it's
changed.
like fanboy
They
gear.
changed like the pattern, or they changed the material, and he said ever since then it went downhill. But the tough part for Sitka,
Yeah.
that's what it is. The tough part for them is they got too many memes.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'll be honest. I made some of those videos because they're funny, but it's just like a trend to hate on them.
Oh, it
I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
the pattern's cool, but somebody should buy the pattern and put like First Light on it, and then nobody will hate on it no more.
Yeah, for sure.
It just ended up being a meme, and like people just hate it. But
That makes me think that's all I'm gonna wear just
Nah,
so
you
people
can't.
talk trash.
no, I mean,
Hey, it gets attention.
we are recording all the hunts this year, so I'll be
Yeah.
talking shit to you the whole time.
Perfect.
But you'll probably find it for cheap.
Oh, it's
Probably be very
cheap right now.
inexpensive,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was like 65% off.
Oh, on the Camofire.
Yeah, on Camo Fire. Yeah.
Camofire's good, dude. So what Camofire does, they buy it by bulk.
Oh, is that what it is?
So they buy like everything by bulk. That's why there's a bar on it, so you could see how many are left. So say if they buy 100, you could see like 90% left, 75% left,
Yeah, yeah.
and all the good stuff goes like the first day. Fuck, what were we talking about?
Oh man. I don't know, but we can get into.
Bear hunting.
We were talking about bears, and I think we got into something else.
Yeah, so my goal this year is California, Arizona, and then I'm gonna go with some buddies to Utah on like an over-the-counter.
Over the counter bear hunt.
That's what all of them were.
Okay.
Arizona was over-the-counter.
There you go.
California's.
Go northern Arizona or guess
They
they're
didn't
more
really tell me
southern.
yet.
Okay.
I'm assuming central somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
Somewhere near Prescott where it's a little greener.
Oh, in Arizona?
Yeah.
I'll be up high.
Yeah.
High country.
There you go.
The only place I've killed one was like down south.
Uh-huh.
It's so far. So I might as well just go to Utah, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your plans? You got a couple? Do you have a bear tag for Idaho or no?
No, just the whitetail tag for Idaho right now.
And then you're just gonna hunt in California bear.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Trying to keep it easier
So
this year.
you could do 2 deer and a bear in California,
Yep.
and then a whitetail.
Whitetail for Idaho.
I think that's enough.
That should fill the freezers. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, did you end up eating that whitetail or?
Oh, absolutely delicious.
Doesn't it taste better when you shoot it yourself?
The thing was so good. Yeah.
It tastes way better when you shoot it yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, all those are eating off the fields out there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it tastes like beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super good. Yeah, you said you wanted to talk about a couple things. Well,
Yeah, you want to get into bow hunting tips? Because, this is my first season bow hunting.
yeah. So like kind of, yeah. Let's talk about it. Like, do you have any questions, or you want to just?
Just basic stalking stuff. I've been shooting 100 arrows a day just trying to get prepped for season, but
Yeah, you
that
definitely.
doesn't get me into deer.
Yeah, so we were talking about this before the podcast. That shoot in Big Bear, like I highly recommend you go.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we could range find everything there. Like the tournament I'm doing on Sunday,
Uh-huh.
no rangefinders.
Okay.
Most of the time hunting, you still use a rangefinder if you can.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you need to know what 40 yards is at all times.
100%.
So like if
yeah.
I was you at work, like when you go to a job, have a rangefinder and be like, the fence is 50 yards, and then range it.
Well, what I've been doing at the house for bow practice
Yeah.
is I won't range my distance. I'll guess it and shoot where I think it's going to be,
Yeah.
and then range it to see how close I was.
Yeah, so that's good. But you want to do it like everywhere. Like because you're gonna learn your backyard, you know. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I used to carry mine all the time and be like, that telephone pole is 87 yards,
Okay.
and then I would range it and then be like 100. What the heck? Because it's hard because everything changes sizes.
Absolutely.
So
Especially in the mountains.
imagine you're looking at a 6-foot fence, and then all of a sudden the next place you go is a 5-foot fence. So that's gonna throw you off.
Okay.
Or like a fire hydrant is like a different size, so you could like know that, you know.
Yeah.
The best like archery guys kind of know the size of the animal, which will tell you like how far it is.
Okay.
That's what's so hard about the 3D shoots is like the javelina 3D target could be twice the size of an actual javelina. So you think it's closer.
Yeah.
It's like tough. It's very tough. But I definitely recommend you doing the shoot in August.
Yeah, if I can pull that one off, I'll be
'Cause
there.
it's you hike around and you shoot. I mean, actually, I don't think you can't use a rangefinder.
That's fine. It'd be good practice.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
definitely, you can't use a rangefinder for that. It's a competition, that one.
Yeah.
The one we're going in Flagstaff is a fun shoot, so you could use a rangefinder.
More practice shoot.
Yeah, but definitely you need to do one of those. We're gonna go scouting, so that'll kind of teach you there, you know.
Yeah, maybe do a couple plays on them, see if we can get in close, see where I mess
Yeah.
up.
I mean, you could probably do it with some does, but you don't want to really teach the bucks.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Chase some does around.
Yeah, you could do some stalks and some does if you want. And what's good is like I could put a headphone in and I like just talk to you the whole time, you know.
There you go.
But the number one tip for like bow hunting, like if you go by yourself, I mean, you definitely want to scout, but still like all the deer I've killed, I've never seen them before. So like
Okay.
it puts you in the right area, like that one whole mountain range we want to go learn.
Yeah.
We just gotta make sure there's deer there. Like we probably won't even see the bucks that we end up shooting if we shoot one off that mountain.
Yeah.
you just gotta, like,
I'm
know
curious
where
if there are deer there.
You gotta know where they're at.
Yeah.
There's deer there.
Yeah.
That and then the biggest thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be hiking in the dark. We're gonna climb the biggest mountain we could find, which is different than Idaho.
Yeah.
We're gonna climb 300 to 500 feet. We're gonna find them, and then we're gonna walk back down and try to stalk them.
Perfect.
So that's kind of the technique for desert deer hunting.
Sounds
If you-
like I was halfway there for that first unit I was
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah, it's different type of terrain though.
Oh, completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like I use the same tactics in Arizona, and like we'll climb the biggest mountain, and then just look all day, and then usually pick up some bucks.
Yeah. Just glass all
But
day.
for there, you're only looking at one canyon for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
You're hiking 2,000 feet elevation to
Yeah.
see one basin.
yeah.
Yeah,
We hike 400 to 500 feet, and you can see out like miles.
exactly.
So
Completely
I
different.
mean, you kind of know. I took you to that one spot, which I showed you that mountain I glass off.
Yeah.
So you got to climb up that.
You can just see for miles.
Yeah. And then what happens is like really when you find them, like I tell people I'm like I could be in your ear on a freaking walkie-talkie, but you still have to like learn, right?
Still got to be quiet. Still got to play the wind.
Yeah. I'll give you a scenario. We went to his different zone, climbed the biggest mountain, spotted that big velvet buck, that half velvet buck I have in there.
Yeah.
Spotted him right away. So I dropped off the mountain. And once I got to the mountain, then I started focusing on what I was going to do. So I was like, which way is the wind going? Which way is the wind going? We're going to go.
Yeah,
Which way
playing
the deer going to go?
thermals.
Yeah. I had my uncle in my ear, but it kind of seemed like it was hurting me more, you know? So
Okay.
he would be like, they're by the juniper. And I would look up and like, there's 17 junipers, dude. Like, and it looks way different. So you got to kind of take what people say in your ear lightly, but
Yeah.
also think about it and like play it, you know? So what I ended up doing is I found out where they were. I kind of knew which way they were going, and I kind of asked him, I was like, are they in the same spot they were before? And he said, yeah. So what I did is I went over there, I took all my electronics off.
Okay.
I turned my walkie-talkie off. I was like, it's me versus the deer now.
Yeah.
So what I did is I did that, took all the distractions, and then I kind of stocked up, you know. The last thing my uncle said to me was like, if you find the deer, he's probably going to be the closest one to you. And
Okay.
that ended up helping. So what I did is I ended up stocking in, and I just one tip I tell people is never assume the deer are gone. Like never assume they busted,
Okay.
because once you get down to that area, you have no idea where you're at.
Yeah, bushes are taller than you are.
It's all tall. Like there's
Yeah.
more ravines, there's more bushes, there's more rocks. Like
Yeah.
so you may not know where they are. So what I did is I ended up sneaking up. I had this little rise, and if I would assume they were gone, I probably would have blew them out. But I got to this little rise, and I just kind of slowly started peeking my head up, and then I could see like 3 spines. I could see them all standing there feeding, and I
Yeah.
didn't know which one it was because their heads were all down.
Okay.
So luckily, what I did is I ended up, the wind was perfect. I kind of stuck up more, and I was like, okay, well, he picked up his head, and I go, okay, it is him. He's the closest one.
Yeah.
So I drew back, and then there's a little ledge, and I stepped up, shot him at 52 yards. But if I assumed they were gone, like you never assume they're gone. Like they're always there.
Just keep stalking in slow.
Even if like you stalk in all day and they're not there,
Yeah.
like it's better than blowing them out.
Oh,
I'll tell you
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then at least you're like, well, they must have busted.
Yeah.
Happened to me, that kind of fell to me one time, is I was stalking this buck, and I told my friends to stay at the top and like kind of just stay up there and they came down the mountain, which pissed me off. So they kind of messed it up, and I assumed the deer were gone.
Yeah.
And I walked around this mountain, and there's 2 deer just looking at me. I'm like, dang it.
Just busting
And
them
I
out
tried
of
to
there.
draw on them, and they took off running. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, but I assumed they were gone because my friends, I thought they busted them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're moving down the mountain, making
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah. So never like assume they're gone. Just spend like some extra time, and then that buck will probably show itself. Like it's going to move an antler, or it's going to get up and change beds,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So a lot of things too is you need to know is depending on the time. Like in the evenings, you got to be aggressive.
Like pushing hard to find them or what?
It's got to be a war with him. Like you
Okay.
can't really let him do what he wants to do. A lot of times, like this one spot I have is I'm always catching the bucks when they're feeding to water. So you got to like figure out what they're doing and either come up behind them if the wind or cut them off.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of getting their trail.
Yeah, it's tough. So you got to be aggressive. Like that buck I shot, like I climbed the mountain at like 3 or 4, found him, started stalking, shot him. It went dark.
Okay.
So it's like how fast it went.
Yeah.
So like you have to be super aggressive. In the mornings, you find them till probably 9 a.m. Then you wait for them to bed. You're just sitting there watching them, and it sucks because you're like, oh, he's just right there. If I had a rifle, So
Yeah.
when you're bow hunting, you just watch them. So that buck where we went, that one I shot.
Uh-huh.
So I got up there, at dark, maybe a little into the light, because I was by myself. Usually I'm a little late when I'm by myself. Found him, watched him for 2 hours feeding, and finally watched him go and assumed he bedded because he never really came out from these like cliffs. So I just had to like assume he was there.
Okay.
So what I did is I went down, stalked in, got the wind right, took my time, got to where he was, and just kind of chilled. Just kind of chilled where I was. Wind was good, so I just kind of paid attention, kind of looking, and then finally, you know, after a few steps, I looked around and I could see his antler kind of move where he was bedded. And I was like, oh, there he is. And it was 50 yards from where I thought he would be.
So you were in there close.
Well, I was
If he's 50
I was
yards from where
farther
you were.
than I thought. So he was maybe 100 yards from me,
Okay.
and I thought he was going to be 50 yards from me. So where I
Got
thought
it.
he bedded, I lost him. So if I would have thought he was there and assumed he left, I would have blew it.
Yeah.
But instead, I like took my time. It's all patience. When it's a morning stalk, you got all freaking day.
Okay.
So what happened was most of these deer will move when the daylight hits them.
They start getting hot.
Yeah,
because
because
they
they're,
want
in
to
the
get moved
when
around.
they're in the shade. So this one didn't. Like he was in the sun for a lot longer than I thought. Till like 2. So I was just standing there till like 2. So finally, I knew he was gonna move beds. Like I knew at some point he was gonna move.
Yeah.
So I was at 30 yards for 2 hours, just standing there.
Okay.
So that's where like the fitness comes in. I was just standing there for 2 hours.
Just
couldn't
waiting
move.
for him to stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally he stood up and I shot him, but ended up making kind of a bad shot. But my bow was jacked up.
Yeah, you said you had a bad string.
Yeah, the string was like half the threads were still hanging off.
That's horrible.
Yeah, so it pulled it left, shot him in the shoulder, but he's still alive. So might get him this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've seen him out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's kind of like the technique. I would say. You have any questions about?
Let's talk about glass. Do you
Glassing.
use a spotting scope when you're bow hunting, or how do you run that?
I used to use a spotter, but now I just feel like a spotter is for running a camera.
Got
like
it.
Putting like a phone scope on there.
Yeah,
I just don't like the extra weight,
they are heavy.
and
I just
I don't find the benefit of them.
because your binos work fine.
They work good enough. So here's my theory with that. People are like, for these California zones, there's not like a plentiful of bucks. Like I was in like 10 last year, like 10 decent bucks.
Yeah.
Which was a lot. If I find a buck, just go move in on it. Because most likely there's going to be other bucks with them.
That makes sense.
So like at least get closer.
Yeah.
So most people use a spotter to be like, there's a buck with my binos. Let me
Score.
further analyze him with a spotter.
Yeah.
Right? It's still tough. It's tough because the packing the weight of a spotter versus, you know, those bucks were. I could see a buck from 800 yards away with my binos and tell by the frame that I'm gonna shoot it or not.
What about like the unit we're gonna go scout?
Yeah.
We got a long road, which
Yeah.
goes for 40 miles if we
Yeah.
wanted to, and we got a whole mountain range on the side. Glassing from the truck, we do anything like that, or
I'll get out and set up a tripod.
okay,
And put my binoculars on a tripod.
not gonna throw it on the truck window and run it that way.
No, because even like, I mean, you can, but dude, it's tough because like people move in the truck
Yeah,
and it's just like moving. You can't like
throws you
concentrate.
20 feet off
Yeah.
from where you're actually at on the mountain.
So I have like the window mount,
Okay,
but if I'm by myself, it would work.
yeah,
But honestly, like, I don't mind just getting out, setting up a chair real quick, and just
setting up the tripod
just
and
being way
running
more
it.
comfortable.
Yeah,
Because you can't glass out the windshield. It's just
no,
blurry.
absolutely not.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just if I find the hillside like that, then I would just get out, set up a chair,
Okay.
sit there for like an hour. Because in the truck, it was going to be 5 minutes of glassing. You can be able to pick up nothing anyways.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
glass that hillside for an hour.
Just pick
back and
apart every
forth,
bush.
back.
Yeah,
Because you could look over a deer 10 times.
I,
And then
I
finally-
guarantee I've done it.
Finally, he could move his tail, and you just catch his tail. You're like,
Yeah,
oh.
you just got lucky that
Yeah.
you had the glass on
Yeah,
at that
just,
time.
or the sun moved just the tiniest bit.
Yeah,
And now it's reflecting off his antler. So yeah, so I just get out kind of thing and glass, but definitely a lot of glassing. Like I prefer to glass more than I do to hike.
yeah. I think that's where I'm messing up because I do a lot more hiking than I do glassing.
See, so I have this one spot where we're going. I need to go scout it because it hasn't been good the last couple of years.
Okay,
There's a mountain lion in there, and then the cows drink all the water. So I know there's a lot more water this year, but it's whether or not they pulled the cows off the lease,
okay,
and if the mountain lion kind of came back. So there was like one little buck on there when there used to be 20 megas.
that's awesome.
So they pushed out of there. But it's good because if we go scout it and they're not there, then I know where they're going to be.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know which way they went.
Exactly.
So I need to go scout this area. But the way I hunt that is we hike in the dark. It's like a 1.75 mile just to get to the hill, which sucks when it's hot.
Absolutely.
So we get there, we get to the hill, and glass all these hillsides, all the flats, all the junipers, the private glass onto the private land.
Yep.
And if they're not there, then we'll hike to the next one, climb it, and
Do
then
the same
glass that
thing.
one, yeah.
One after the next.
And then what happens by that time, we'll go to a mountain to where we're climbing and glassing towards the sun. So we're gonna try to start catching everything bedded
Okay.
because nothing's gonna be moving by the time we hit 3 freaking mountains.
Yeah, and it's
So
gonna be
we're gonna hit
super hot.
Mountain at daylight, glass for an hour or two, hike for an hour, glass for an hour or two. It's already bedded time.
Okay.
So we'll look off onto the flats and try to catch stuff bedded or in the rocks.
Got it.
See if they're bedded. But you got to glass the shade. So you have to, by that time, like in that area, you have to be to where that is to be able to glass backwards
Got it.
by the way you're hiking,
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how we would do that area,
That makes sense.
And then I have some areas where I'm like, we're going to do this area in the morning. And I know the bucks only move in this area at night.
Okay.
So then we'll go hike that in the evening.
Yeah, it's nice you got so much knowledge on the unit already.
Yeah. So
Kind of know what the deer are doing.
yeah, so we're definitely gonna talk about that. It's like, I don't usually hunt with anybody. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
shot like 9 of my 13 big game animals by myself. So you guys are very lucky. So the thing I have to tell you guys, and this is for like any hunter, is like you have to add value to me for me to like take you guys, So
Oh yeah.
luckily you're gonna go scouting with me next month. So we're gonna take your truck and UTV. So you're adding value to me, right? Because I have 8 years of scouting to your
Put your time in on
to
the
your
unit.
one day.
Yeah.
Because you've only went once one day. Right?
Exactly.
So you guys have to add value in some way, right? And obviously it's you and Josh. Josh has done a little hunting with me in Arizona, but not in this area.
Okay.
So that's why I told you guys, I go, whoever scouts most shoots first.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys, whoever puts in the most work, right?
Absolutely.
But also take into consideration, there may be some scenarios where if we're in big buck country, like you guys might not even want to pack your rifles because it may not be the day that a little buck's even going to show itself. Or if you haven't put in enough time, like, you know what I mean? Like say we're glassing, right? It's like opening day. There's going to be like some confusion. That's why we need to talk about this before, like figure out a game plan. If there's a forky sitting out there opening day, probably shouldn't shoot it.
Oh, I agree.
Because
we got a whole
you guys
season
gotta,
left.
yeah, you guys got to put your time in, and for you to shoot that, I mean, you've done a buck before, so technically you could probably pack it out by yourself to where I could keep going hunting.
Yeah, absolutely.
But imagine you shoot a buck opening day, and I know there's, 10 4x4s just a little farther, just
Yeah.
not down yet. I got to take my whole day to pack this thing out and then ruin my 8 years of scouting, So there's there's definitely like a thing there, right?
There's definitely a dynamic we're gonna have to figure out.
So what's good about you and Josh is like whoever scouts most shoots first. So the other guy shouldn't even carry a rifle
Absolutely.
unless he wants to split up by himself.
Yeah.
Like if we're going that way and he wants to go that way, sure, go ahead.
Absolutely.
But like that's why my uncle, one time he didn't scout at all this year, and my buddy that did scout, I'm like, my uncle got kind of mad about it. He's like, dude, he scouted way more. He gets to shoot first.
Yeah.
But then my uncle did. He's like, well, I'm just gonna go the other way. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Call me if you shoot something.
Yeah.
We'll come help you. But so yeah, that might be a play. I mean, we could all three split up. Like we could all go our different ways and
Yeah.
touch base on radios. Like it's just we got to figure out that game plan. But
Exactly.
that place I took you to, there's no splitting up. But there's also this scenario to where you might want to pack a rifle because if there's a 4x4 to the west and a forky to the east,
I'm heading to the forky.
good luck that way, and
Yeah.
I'll be good luck this way.
Exactly.
So it's kind of. But for that to happen with $3, like,
It's not gonna happen.
yeah, it's tough because
At least not in that unit.
it depends. Depends where we go. It's like there's some areas where, splitting up may help.
Cover more
if
ground.
everybody's comfortable being alone, which I am, hiking in the dark, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like there's plenty of areas where I could go north, you could go east, and go west, and we'd never run into each other. But
Those
there's-
mountain ranges are massive.
But there's some places like that place I took you to is like, if you guys go east, you can never cut back. Like if you go which it would be east from where we were.
Uh-huh.
If you went that way to where our second hike was,
Yeah.
you have to stay over there. You can't
you
loop. You can't loop towards me
You have to loop the other
because
way.
I'm hunting that way.
Exactly.
So you could hunt, so that's just kind of what you have to figure out a game plan.
Yeah.
Because if we start getting irritated out there, then it's just not fun,
Then it's not worth hunting with other people.
Yeah. So you just definitely have to like figure that out, kind of thing. But we also have to figure out where we're going opening day.
Sounds good to me.
Got to run some cameras and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. See where they're at.
We probably won't go to where we're gonna go scout in opening day because it'll be hotter than hell down there.
It's gonna be hot anywhere in that
Yeah.
unit.
It's gonna be hot in archery season.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like brutally hot. It's actually it's actually cooler to hunt in the evenings because the breeze.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
we do
it's-
get the afternoon breeze.
Yeah, but it's still hot. Yeah, it's kind of a rundown.
Can't escape that heat.
No.
No.
Dude, one time it was 114,
Oh, I have no doubts. During hunting season.
and then we ended up leaving, and my truck got stuck. So we're like out there. Dude, it was,
You gotta quit with these 2-wheel drive trucks.
well, I don't plan on driving, ruining it.
Yeah.
I use e-bikes now.
That's what
or
mine's for.
UTVs.
Yeah.
UTVs are better.
They are nice, but
Yeah.
the AC in the truck, that's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean it is, but most of the time when you're that deep on the road, you're just camping there anyways. So you're just going back to camp.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
really driving roads every morning. It'll take you 3 hours to drive some of those roads.
At least, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just imagine you get your truck all the way in there and it breaks down.
Yeah.
So there's like pros and cons behind it. Yeah, it's kind of a breakdown. Any questions on?
No. Let's see.
Well, give me like a stalking scenario. Let me see how you would do on a stalk. Okay, let me give you a scenario.
Yeah, give me a scenario.
You
I'll
tell
play
me
it
what
out.
you would do,
There you go.
and then I'll like correct you. This is for like the new things, okay? Probably go. Okay, so say I should have did this before I told you all this info.
Got my cheat sheet now.
Yeah. Okay, tell me what you do. So, I'm trying to think of like a hard scenario that we just didn't talk about. Okay, imagine we're like up on a high knob, like a high glass, like 500 feet elevation climb,
Okay.
and there's a big valley, and 800 yards away, there's a buck, but he disappeared. Like he's there, like he didn't come out of this like valley.
At 800 yards?
800 yards away.
Okay.
He didn't come out of this valley, but you never seen him come up. Everything was visible for him to leave, but he never left. Like, what would you do?
I'd wait him out.
But just by how? Like, explain it.
Sit the whole mountain range with glass and just
Yeah.
sit and wait for him.
This is like in the morning or what?
Absolutely.
So what would you wait for him to do?
Show himself. Because I don't want to go in there and blow him out.
Yeah. So what if he gets up and moves 5 feet to another bed? You still never see him.
If I've never seen him, then I just keep glassing him.
Yeah. So my theory on that would be, I would do that, but I would do it from like multiple positions.
Okay.
So like if I can't see him, I'm gonna find a mountain range where I could potentially see him.
Got it. So
Or-
rotate.
Or what I'll do is I'll drop into the valley, figure out which way the wind's going to where I'm never going to bust him, and maybe I could go get up on top of him and look down in there.
Okay.
And then so what I'll do is like, you may have to climb 200 or 300 feet, get above him,
Uh-huh.
figure out where he's bedded. And then you may have to come all the way back around to get the wind right.
Yeah, I was
and
going to
make a
say, because the
stop.
mornings,
Yeah.
you got to be careful with your thermals.
The tough part for that is like if you're going to sit on him all day,
Uh-huh.
he may never move.
Okay.
Like you may never see him again.
Yeah.
Like he may just stay there. So you
Got
have
it.
to move around and find out where his living
See if he's
room
actually
is.
in there.
He's in there most likely because
Yeah.
his exits were visible.
Okay.
But you have to see if you come in and stop. Say it's like a big ravine, and you come in 30 yards low,
Uh-huh.
and the wind blows up at him. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to, if he's say he's 50% up the mountain, you want to come over like side hill right at him and be right at him. But you have to know where he bedded, because he could be too high, kick a rock down.
Yeah.
So what
yeah.
I would do in that situation is I'd know where the canyon is. I'd probably pull up Onyx and figure out how the drainage goes and find a hill to where I could look back at him.
Kind of come straight at him from
Yeah.
the wind.
Or I would be like the wind is blowing down and kind of come up here and try to look down and see him kind of thing.
Anything to get your eyes on him.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is a scenario that I had my buddy Eric do.
Uh-huh.
So what happened with him is we had 2 bucks come and they kind of disappeared. he snuck in there too aggressive. Ended up coming in too low, and the bucks like he thought the bucks were here, they were here, so he didn't really like relocate them.
Okay.
But he just assumed they were there.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like you always want to assume they're there. But they jumped. So what happened is that buck ran up and he never came out the other side. So I told him, I was like, that buck is still up there somewhere. Like he never came out because I would be able to see him.
Yeah, you'd see him
So
busting
I
out.
told Eric, I was like, circle around, get the wind right, and try to see if you could locate him like in this rock cluster because he's there.
Yeah.
So what happened is he did that, and that buck came running back all the way across the flats right to me.
Okay.
So then I was able to guide Eric in to where he was and kind of come around and get the wind right. But then the buck ended up busting because of somebody else.
Oh, bummer.
But yeah, but hindsight 2020 is Eric should have relocated in the bucks because where he stalked in at them, they were actually like right here.
Yeah, should have
So
been able to
kinda-
keep an eye on him rather than
So
busting in.
he's like sneaking in looking, and they're probably already looking at him.
Yeah.
They're staring at him, and then they were like, so you got to know where that buck is.
Yeah.
So to sit on a buck all day, it'd be too tough because what happens in the evening is they're going to start moving to water, and you'll never be able to catch up to them.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah, so a lot of times, like, if you get say if you get closer to them and the wind's perfect, then you could wait
Okay.
because that buck may come up this way or he may show himself on the other hillside. At least you're in the drive-through, ready to do something.
At least better range.
To go 800 yards will take you an hour.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean? So
yeah, especially trying to do it quietly.
yeah, so you definitely want to get up in there and just
Yeah.
wait. Worst case kind of thing.
Well, what do you think holds most hunters back?
As far as
Success.
like success rate,
Yeah.
being lazy.
Being lazy, huh?
Yeah. So you ever hear the term where like guys are like, "Oh, we'll hunt the morning and the evening."
No, never.
I always shoot deer between 10 and 2 because I'm out there.
When no one else is on the mountain.
You'll see all these guys sitting in camp, and I was like, "There's no deer in camp."
Yeah.
So like I usually when I hike in, like if I hike into that one spot,
Uh-huh.
I'll stay in there all day.
I
might
thought
backpack
that's
in,
just
I
how
might
you hunt.
backpack in there this year.
That's what I'm hoping
It's
we
only
do.
3 miles.
Yeah, it's not far.
Easy hike, but I kind of want to
Yeah.
just go up there and just be
Just be in the zone.
area, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we could go 3 more miles. you know?
Exactly.
There is some areas where we could backpack in. But yeah, mostly people, the success rate are just being lazy, like not putting in the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, for me, time is limited.
What happens is, opening day, it's a madhouse. After that, you don't even see the hunters anymore. They're like, oh, we gave it a weekend.
There you go.
And it's like, dude, you're not going to be successful like that. For a long time, I didn't kill a deer before the first 3 weekends.
Oh,
It took
really?
me 3 weeks to get into what was
Yeah,
kind of going on.
to start a patterning
Yeah.
them and things. Yeah.
Even my best deer hunting stuff this year was during the rifle season, the general season.
Okay.
So it's like it took that long to start having more encounters.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's good. Just got to put in the work, dude.
That's it.
Sweat it out. You leave camp in dark, you get back in dark.
I'm all for that.
Cook some food,
Yeah.
do some podcasts.
Hunting hard is what I like. The time frame, actually being able to get out there,
Yeah.
that's what's hard for me.
Yeah, the time.
Yeah.
That's gonna
I got a
limit your
wife, 2
success.
kids, and 2 businesses.
That's gonna be your success this year. So
Absolutely.
you got to figure out like how much work you could do from,
From the, yeah.
or bust
the
your ass,
mountain.
bust your ass for the next 2 months and take a little bit more time off.
Business keeps on rolling whether I'm there or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, so that's good. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
your success.
Yeah, that's going to be what's going to be the hardest thing for me to
Yeah.
Limit me.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you're not, if you're, the more you're out there, the more success.
Exactly. Time in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's gonna be. And then Josh probably the same. He's gonna have.
Is he working a lot?
Yeah, he's always kind of just doing the weekends.
Okay.
So I feel like that's gonna be his, but I feel like I'm gonna be out there for a couple weeks at a time.
There you go.
Just because I have
I got some time cut out to get out there and do it, but not a lot.
how much?
We'll find out what the schedule does, but right now I got 2 full weeks opened up where I can hunt.
What dates?
I'll give them to you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like I tell people is if you're gonna take all that time off, do it the late season rifle.
Yeah, it would be after October. Because, I got a week in October, the first weekend of October for Idaho.
Yeah. So it should end like the first week of November. That hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's just find the time.
Yeah.
I say if you do have like the 2 weeks to go, do it late season, October.
Okay.
It's cooler. The bucks may start rutting a little early, especially this year. And I'll probably have my 2 bucks shot by then.
Perfect.
So then it's kind of just you guys, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully we can get in there and get it done.
But also, I'm not letting you shoot a giant one.
Yeah, you will.
You gotta shoot a little bit bigger one. A
Oh,
3
come
by
on.
3. A 3 by
You know
3.
you'll smile if I shoot your giant.
Heck no. No, because you ain't putting enough time out there to shoot the big ones.
Not yet.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But no, I plan on being out there for a long time.
Perfect.
I'll live
I
out
was
there
gonna
for
say
it.
you got the time this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like last year.
Well, the last full draw film tour is August 1st.
Yeah. So after that, you're set.
It's open game.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Flagstaff hike to hunt, and then hunting in Arizona in August, and then that's kind of when it starts.
There you go.
I'm starting hunting next month, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
What else we got? Any questions or
No, that's all I got.
what time we at?
What else you want to go for?
Oh, we're only at an hour 20. I'm trying to think. What else can we talk about? When are you gonna do a 3D tournament?
Shoot, man. As soon as I got a free weekend.
We'll figure out the August one.
Yeah, I think that one will work out.
Yeah, just put it in your calendar right now.
Yeah.
Even if you come shoot for a day, it's a 2-day tournament.
I mean, I could
But you
just
don't have
jam
to
them up
keep
there in the
score.
motorhome.
Yeah, you don't have to keep score if you don't want.
Yeah.
You come up Saturday morning, leave Sunday, or I think it's like I don't remember. It's like 42 targets or something. It's like 30 on Saturday, and it's a small amount on Sunday,
Okay.
or it's 60, 40 and 20. I think it's 60.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to do.
Yeah. So
Is it on like ski slopes or is it in the?
No, it's just walking around.
just walking around the forest. Okay.
Just walking around the forest. All the ski slope stuff is the closest one they have is in Tahoe
Got it.
for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. Shoot your bow a lot. Work out.
100 arrows a day.
100?
Shoot 100 a day.
I know that's a lot.
Let's shoot. I don't want to miss.
You're gonna miss.
Come on now.
You ever seen buck fever?
Yeah.
You're gonna have some buck fever.
I hope so.
That close to a deer,
Yeah.
you're gonna be freaking out. I still get it.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just stay working out. Josh is working out all the time. This
Oh,
guy's-
there you go.
he's
That's
on-
awesome.
He does 1,000 push-ups a day.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That's rad.
This guy's a fuck. And
Yeah.
he just did that 50-mile race.
Okay.
Um,
So he's a unit.
Debatable. Josh couldn't keep up with me in Arizona.
Oh, really?
It's just a different type. It's like when you're hiking Arizona, like I know how to hike the rocks.
Yeah, you got to
Like I
watch
know
your
the
ankles.
rhythm,
Yeah.
but it's different for like. So he's an athlete. Like in the flat stuff, he did fine, but he had to learn the technique of hiking the rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, just definitely be in the gym as much as you can. Running helps.
Got all that down. We should be set.
Lifting weights, just be hammering. I'm usually working out once. I skip 2 days, so I'll work out like I'll run 7 miles,
Yeah.
skip 2 days, either work out in the gym or run 7 miles, skip 2 days.
There you go.
I'd like to be in there every day, but it's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only time I can go to the gym is before the wife and kids wake up. So
Yeah.
I'm usually leaving the house around 4:45, 5 o'clock to hit the gym or go for a run.
Yeah.
And then trying to be back by 6:30 or 7 to head to work.
Well, that's good to run that early, anyways.
It's what
Work,
I'm
it's
used
hot.
to.
It's hot
That's
as
the only
fuck.
time I'm awake.
I like to go at daybreak.
Okay.
But yeah, just working out, man. That's it. Shooting your bow, shooting your rifle.
We need to get out and do some long range.
Yeah, we'll have to go do that.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
That rifle's pretty dialed in, so
We just got to figure
At
out a
least it
game
was.
plan. Yeah, I mean, it is.
it's just been sitting in the safe,
Yeah.
at least for a few months.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fine, but you got to get comfortable with it. Get rid of that trigger panic.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody has that right away. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's kind of it. You going to hunt Arizona?
Not this year.
January?
Maybe next year.
Wait till next year.
Yeah.
You going to hunt in August next year?
In Arizona?
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're not going to hunt javelinas with us this year?
Maybe.
That's in January.
Is it? We'll see. We'll see how
So-
much time I can get away from the wife.
So this is what? So the Arizona archery tag
Uh-huh.
by November or
Okay.
October, November. Buy it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
For the javelina.
javelina. Then you can hunt javelina and deer in January,
Okay.
and then hunt deer in August and hunt deer in December. So
Okay.
it kind of puts you into a tag for the next year.
Got it.
So that's why I'm asking if you're. The thing about hunting January is
Yeah.
you can hunt javelina and deer at the same time.
And is that mule deer or is that the
Mule deer.
coos deer?
It's whatever. Depends
Oh,
on
it
where
is.
you go.
Okay.
So they have quotas. So it just kind of depends where you go.
Got it.
We go for mule deer.
Yeah. I mean, mule deer are cool.
Coos deer are just cute little freaking
I want one.
tiny little things. I'll shoot one day.
They're cool.
If I get the opportunity to stalk one.
Yeah, yeah.
There's some, like where I go up north in Arizona.
That's the gray ghost.
I see some.
Yeah.
See them all the time. But yeah, man, just figure out your hunting stuff. Stay working out. Shoot your bow. Shoot your gun. And then it's going to be here quicker than you think.
I was going to say a couple weeks we'll be out there scouting it in the side-by-side.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
so we're going to go July. It's going to be hotter than fuck.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot. So we're going to go
Don't worry.
July.
I got it scoped out. I got a good game plan for us.
And then a month and a half after that, it opens.
Yeah.
So you better be ready.
Yep. 6 weeks. Be hitting the hills.
This will be so fucking hot. Not ready.
I'm ready.
We hunt the highest country stuff we can.
Yeah, because it's 120 down in the desert.
Yeah. I mean, it's still 100.
100 plus up in the hills.
But we just, So that's it. Probably wrap
Cool.
this thing up. But yeah, we just got to work on that stuff and go hunting. And then we'll be doing podcasts in camp.
Perfect.
That's
what it's all about,
Then in
right?
camp, we could be like, I'll be like, so what'd you do today? Be like, oh, I stalked a buck. And you tell me about it. And I'll be like, oh, you did this wrong.
Yeah, and it's not like you were a year out trying to talk
Yeah.
about a hunt then. Yeah.
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 So we'll figure out a game plan. We'll have some hunting videos coming.
Cool.
That's it, man.
Start getting the YouTubes going.
Yeah, we need some good hunting videos.
Absolutely.
I got the plug for Full Draw Film Tour, so
I was going
we
to
got to
say.
get some in there.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be rad.
Yeah, man. Let's go shoot some bows or something.
All right, dude. Sounds good.